Hello and welcome to the August 5th, 2024 meeting of the City of Lebanon Community Development Corporation. We'll start off by calling the meeting to order. And it looks like all members are present for the record. We don't have any old business, so let's go ahead and look at our one item under new business, which is Resolution 2024-02. Ben?
Good evening, everyone. This item before you tonight is related to the Cardin Associates project. This came before you a few months ago relating to a grant that was going to be issued to the CDC from the Redevelopment Commission. And then the CDC would then be the entity that enters into the agreement with Cardin Associates on their loan, that their construction loan that they're receiving. And would be offered to help pay the interest payments on the interest-only loan. The structure of that agreement with the bank is changing a little bit. That's the reason it's back before you. And I think actually Mr. Shine, the last time we had this discussion, said if that structure would have to change, it would need to come back to you to get reapproved. So that's what we're actually doing here tonight. So the only change really is the schedule for how the payments are made to the bank. The overall amount is staying the same over that 3-year time period. It's $1.7 million. But the bank is requesting that essentially 6 months of interest payments be pre-deposited with the bank, and then they would draw from those funds over that 6 months period. So that's really the only change. Whereas before we were looking at it being more of a reimbursement process, this will now essentially pre-fund the bank for 6 months worth of those interest payments. So that's really the basics of the change. And I think maybe Mr. Shine may have some additional information you can probably highlight there as well. But that's all I have for you if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, Ben. Does anyone have any questions right now? Okay, we'll go to Rob.
Yeah, thank you. So board members, the only thing I would just really add again is you may recall from resolution 2024-01, we had exhibits A and B, exhibit A was a disbursement agreement. And we also had exhibit B was a grant agreement. In this resolution 2024-02, what we're really doing is just going to repeal that resolution 2024-01. And instead of having a disbursement agreement, West Banco is the bank that the developer's working with, and they have now required a construction loan agreement and have asked that this board be a party to it. And we've incorporated the terms of the grant agreement and commented to the construction loan agreement. So that'll be exhibit A to this resolution. As Ben indicated, the terms and the maximum amount, again, of the grant will not exceed $1.7 million. There is also, as Ben indicated, West Banco would like to have 6 months, or is requiring to have 6 months in deposits in the amount of $283,334. So presumably on closing, we anticipate that the West Banco is going to ask for that amount to be deposited. And then what will happen is the developers entered into a construction agreement with Meyer Najum to complete the public infrastructure work, and they will submit pay applications that before, when we were in the last meeting at the end of June, we anticipated they would seek reimbursement. And now what they're going to do is they'll submit the pay applications through West Banco. West Banco will receive payments not only from the borrower, but then would do a draw on the grant money that we have approved prior and what we were seeking approval at today's meeting. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you'd like, I'm happy to read it, and I'm happy to address any questions you may have with the exhibits too. I'll read the resolution for the record.
No questions?
Yeah. Okay. Again, this resolution 2024-02 again concerns resolution of this board accepting a grant from the Redevelopment Commission and approving the Lebanon Community Development Corporation, acknowledging certain obligations under the construction loan agreement with the Lebanon Land Group and West Banco Bank Incorporated. I won't read all this verbatim. We went through it, but again, I'll just hit the highlights. So the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission, again, exists and operates under the provisions of Indiana law, and it may provide financial assistance, including grants and loans to neighborhood development corporations such as the CDC. CDC is a nonprofit corporation existing under Indiana law and considered a neighborhood development corporation. Again, the developer is Card Associates Athletic Facilities, as we know, and they've built the Field House project and public infrastructure projects. And the CDC and both the RDC have determined it's in the best interest of the CDC and the RDC for the developer to pursue certain financial arrangements against for completing the public infrastructure of the project. And as we talked about, the CDC has determined that it's in the best interest to accept contributions in the amount not to exceed $1,700,000, and that's defined as the CDC contribution. The CDC has determined it's in the best interest of the CDC to enter into the construction and loan agreement with WesBanco as the lender and the CDC in the form attached as Exhibit A related to the developer loan for the limited purposes of acknowledging the calculation and payment obligations of the CDC thereunder. And the CDC has further determined it's in the best interest of it to enter into the grant agreement, which is Exhibit B. And again, that's to accept legally available tax increment revenues for the purposes described in it. And it's subject to appropriations by the Redevelopment Commission. So therefore, be it resolved that the recitals are incorporated in here. The CDC will accept the grant. The CDC will execute and deliver any other agreements, instruments, and documents, including but not limited to the grant agreement and construction loan agreement, as necessary in connection with the grant. The president of the CDC is authorized to execute and deliver all the agreements, including the other documents contemplated by this resolution. In the absence of the president, the vice president and or secretary shall be authorized to execute any and all agreements. And as I mentioned, resolution 2024-01 is hereby repealed. So the only other thing I just wanted to highlight for your benefit is page 33 of the construction loan agreement addresses the maximum amount, again, that how it'll be calculated. So as you may recall from the June meeting, the developer anticipates that it is going to be able to sell lots and hopefully in a very soon fashion. And so that $283,000 basically to acknowledge the draw request, hopefully we'll be able to decrease in very short fashion. So again, in that 1.7 million, hopefully will be a lot less. And there's a mechanism in there that would calculate that dollar amount to go down should the developers sell those lots. So with that, again, I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Anyone have anything? Nope. Good. Okay, with that, I would accept a motion to approve resolution 2024-02.
I move we approve resolution 2024-02.
Well, second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, resolution passes. So I don't think we have anything else on the agenda. Does anyone have anything else? No? Okay, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.